Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I apologize, this is probably going to be a very bouncy video. How can I fix this? Hold on. Alright, hopefully that is less bouncy, but now you can see all the trash on top of my dresser. Isn't that lovely? Anyways, this is going to be, it's still bouncy, I'm sorry. This is going to be my week 10 Big Brother 17 eviction week video. So we left off last week with the contestants fighting for head of household, and they were on like a start line where they had to have both hands and a foot on a button, and they had to watch the TV screen and it would say ready, set, and when it would say go, they all had to run down and hit a buzzer, and the last person to buzz would be out for each round. So we kind of watched that at the end of last week's episode. So this week we learned that Austin wins, which makes, quite a few people super happy, but everybody... Oh, and then my daughter's... This is going to be a bad video. Good gracious. It's one of those weeks. Alright, so Austin wins, which automatically makes the twins happy because he ain't putting them up, and it makes Vanessa happy because she feels that she's super safe. It makes Johnny Mac feel safe because he feels like he has an alliance with all of them. Everybody pretty much feels safe because they've all kind of worked out this weird, different groups of alliances. But then Austin's trying to figure out, oh my gosh, so who do I put up? Like, I've tried to align myself kind of with Megan and James, and I've also kind of aligned myself with Johnny Mac and Steve, but I really promised Megan them, and so what am I going to do when he's conflicted? And he's debating every week. Somebody debates whether or not they're going to backdoor Vanessa. So that's all being tossed around, whatever. Comes to nominations, and he tells Steve to his face, like, we're putting up Johnny Mac. That's the first one. And now it's just going to be, we need a pawn. We need somebody. And so Steve's like, please, I don't want it to be me. Why can't it be Vanessa? And Vanessa's like, oh, if you're not going to be, help us and support us, then really you're not a part of our alliance. And, seriously, she's not volunteering to go sit up there either, so what the heck? But Steve ends up getting put up there because somehow Vanessa is able to manipulate everybody's brain. So, Steve and Johnny Mac get put up together. They play for the power of veto. Now, I did not watch this episode. This would have been Wednesday's episode. I did not watch, but I have the gist of what happened because I watch After Dark and all my family watches. So, Zingbot at some point comes in. I didn't see that. Zingbot isn't my thing, whatever. Last year he had a few good ones, but it's not like something like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch a Zingbot episode. But he apparently comes in. So, the POV thing is, make Tinder for Zingbot or whatever. So there's all these faces made up of robots, and they're using different facial features of the different house guests, and they have to label who is what, and in the fastest amount of time. It's a single competition. One person's out there working or doing it, and the rest are all, in the house or whatever. So in the end, Vanessa wins POV. So obviously she cannot be backdoor this week. So then, for some reason, she gets in an argument with Steve, and they're arguing about the plan the week before was to backdoor her, and she's been told it was his idea, and so she's mad at Steve, and she doesn't trust Johnny Mac anyways, but she tells Steve flat out she's not using it on him because she can't trust him, and she cries, and blah, 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 like her typical Vanessa self. And Johnny Mac tries to align her, bring her into his little section and try and align himself with her by telling her all these things that had gone on the week before, and that's really what's kind of started it with Steve, but Steve and his kind of storytelling really got himself in trouble. Not storytelling, but trying to figure his own head out. He doesn't work well under confrontation. So Vanessa does not use it at all. She decides, forget it, I'm not using it on either of you, and whatever. So up until moments before the show, of course, it was still up in the air who was going to be voted out. But in a unanimous vote, Johnny Mac was evicted. Now, of course, that makes 4 people in the jury house: Shelly, Jackie, Becky, and now Johnny Mac, so now they all get to fight to come back into the house. So we leave this episode with, I forget what they were calling it, but they all had to stand on this small disc with a rope hanging, and it would spin them all around, and there were two hands, and they would swing around, they'd hit it and kind of bounce off and spin and keep going and hit the other hand and whatever. So the last person standing would become HOH, and the last house guest that was evicted would be able to stay. And if that was also the last person standing, then they could be HOH. So the episode left with Julia falling off, Meg fell off, and Steve. Them three have fallen off. So that is all we know. I do not know who won it. After Dark is not on yet. I think it's on like in a few moments. So I will be watching that to find out and see who gets to stay. So we will chat about that. So let me know what you're thinking now. This is week 10, and I'm telling you guys, I've been saying since probably one of the very first videos, I think Vanessa might, if somebody doesn't hurry up and take her out, she is going to win. Because she is amazing. I'm not surprised that she won the POV because she's a poker player. Her thing is to watch people and their faces and their tells, so that, you know, I'm sure she's picked apart everybody's little sections of themselves. So that did not surprise me. And she is just so good at weaving where she needs to be when she has to be and kind of figuring out when they're kind of after her and getting the attention somewhere else. So I think she really could, she could take it. And I also think that next week, if whoever comes back from the jury house, I think they're too far along in the game now to really come back. Like, you know, last year, I think the girl, she came back. Oh my god, I can't think of her name now. Hayden was her boyfriend. Oh, what's her name? Oh, her thing on Instagram is coconuts. She came back, and I think she made it an extra week, and then she went home. But I think whoever comes back this week, honestly, unless something crazy happens in the house, whoever comes back this week is just going home next week. So next week's going to be boring, pretty much. Is my guess. Now, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope something crazy happens. But we will see. So that is Big Brother 17 week 10. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Bye.